that's just all we can hope for our children, right? We just want them to find something that they love and they adore and that they're going to be into, and that's going to help them grow in various different ways. Because, you know, when we make these humans, they take lots of other humans to help grow them and give them different skills and help build them as a person.
Hey, are you ready to open the next cheer chapter? I'm Alison Sack with over 20 years in the cheerleading industry, and somehow I ended up as an author too. I'm here to give it to you straight. No fluff, useful tips, and all the perks from life on the mat and in the books. Whether you're doing the laundry, driving, or just trying to survive, you're in the right place. So grab your coffee or your jug of water and let's turn the next page.
Okay, cheer parents, this video is for you. So I'm going to say it's going to be non-biased because I'm talking from the position of the cheerleader book club, right? So I'm talking from this point of view. I'm not talking from a particular program. However, I do still run a program, so take that as you please. But I'm here to just give you my 2 cents on my 20 odd years in this industry. Like I just said, I'm still coaching in the industry and still running a program. So I just wanted to do a video for new cheer parents or parents that are thinking about putting their children into cheer, but you're not sure what it is, you don't know what it involves, what does it even include, like all those kind of questions, like what even is cheerleading? I really wanted to do an introduction to cheer for parents. So here we are. In saying that, I have like a few different insights into what I'm talking about. So hopefully I won't like jump around too much. But if you're a parent and you're thinking of putting your child or your children into cheerleading and you're not really too sure, you've got questions, like I'm going to start right at the beginning for you guys. If you're already a cheer parent, you're probably going to want to skip this cheer chapter because it'll be stuff that you already know. And if you're watching on YouTube and wondering where on earth I'm sitting right now, I'm in my son's bedroom because the neighbors were vacuuming and it was a little bit loud. You could hear it. So I wanted to come up here. It was a bit quieter for you guys so you wouldn't be able to hear the vacuum. So that's why we're in here with the neons. And yeah, you know, just a bit of a different vibe for you today, that's all. So cheerleading, what is cheerleading? Cheerleading is a sport that's relatively new, right? It is new regardless of what people will say, because, you know, like if you think about it, cheerleading is, I don't know where you are in the world listening to this right now. Or I'm currently in Australia and I've also coached in England. So like this sport is new regardless of what you might be thinking, because if you think about it, things like football as in soccer, netball, basketball, cricket, all of those things, all of those sports have been around so much longer and they are also considered a sport. Whereas cheerleading in the world, not everywhere in the world is it even considered a sport. Where I am, I have to run my program as a business. It's not considered a sport, right? So we don't often get as many opportunities and ease and grants and help and support and so on for the business, because it's considered a business, not a sport. At the moment, I'm really fighting to try and get kids sport for my program, which is like, honestly, just pulling teeth. It's so frustrating. And that's just exactly what I mean. It's just a new sport. So another thing that makes me think, like, you know, there's a couple of things that makes me think it is still so brand new. Not only with that, which I could do a whole episode of waffling on about that, it's the fact that when you meet people, I still meet people every day, or probably not every day, I don't talk to new people every day, but, you know, every week or so, that don't know what cheerleading is. What do you do? I'm a cheerleading coach. A what? And I'm a cheer. Anyway, then you have to explain it, and then they're like, I didn't even realize cheer was that big. And, you know, or somebody said to me the other day, do you know, I saw a cheer comp at HPC and I didn't realize, and then they'll go off on one, because I suppose unless you're involved in the industry, you don't actually realize like what is involved. You know, it's not within our community as such. It might be where you live, maybe, but wherever I've lived, it's certainly not. And I suppose it's like that for a lot of places in the world. Like it's not in our everyday lives. Like when I talk to people, when I go to like parent things for my son, and you're chatting to other parents, parent night, well, whatever you're doing, those parents would be like, oh, like, yeah, you know, we're just filling in for netball and coaching netball. And then when I question them on it, and then they're like, oh, yeah, you know, so-and-so would just have, and the parents are like brought in to like coach soccer or netball or basketball or whatever it might be. And those people are just vastly found and easily found because people grow up playing those sports and they play them in school, in primary school, in high school, outside of school. Their parents play. It's just around everywhere. Whereas in cheer, we don't have that. And like where I lived before, I lived in the middle of the desert in Western Australia with like nothing for like 7 hours. Like our nearest city was 7 hours drive. It's just desert, right? So where we lived there, luckily I'd had training in England with the company that I worked for before, and they were phenomenal. And I could train people to be staff, because where on earth would I find coaches just randomly around that can come coach cheer? Like you just can't pull them out. Like, and even just the thought of like, I've had people ring me that want to start cheerleading programs, and then they're like, oh, can you train me to be a cheerleading coach? Well, they're not even in this country. Like, it's just not, it's not that well known. It's not that well supported, in my opinion. And it's also not that easy to find staff or even be trained in it. Like, it's just a lot. So bearing that in mind, cheer, that's like a whole other conversation of like how that affects costs and how that affects running the business and so on and so forth. So I understand, is what I'm trying to say in this very long roundabout way, that I understand why parents don't know anything about cheer, basically. Why you're probably watching this video or listening to me on a podcast, because I totally get why you don't know what's involved. So in saying that, cheerleading, what is it? Well, there's several different types of cheer for starters. So it depends whether you're going to be looking at doing like a school program. Are you going to be doing varsity cheer? Are you doing university cheer? Or are you going to be doing like all-star competitive cheer, which is completely different? Or are you looking at like pom, which is more like dance, because it's more like jazz with pom-poms kind of thing. So there's different types for starters. I guess the word most well-known over here would be all-star, but depending on where you're in the world, it might be school or varsity, it might be different. But have a look at what type of program it is that you're thinking of putting them in, because that will have different requirements of you as a parent and as an athlete. And then next of all, something to think about as a parent is when you're looking at putting your child into this sport, thinking about how this is going to affect your family and what's in their info pack, and how you're just going to make that all happen. Because usually with all-star programs, we put out info packs 2, 3, 4 months sometimes ahead of when that season starts, and that will have your competition dates in there, choreography dates, when fees are due, what fees are due, when you've got to order uniforms, where you've got to be when throughout the whole of the next year. And that will really help you look at basically your scheduling of your management of your time and your family's time, and can you actually manage it? And if not, is there a different program that you can do that isn't as like got as high commitment as whatever that one is that you're looking at? Because at the end of the day, cheerleading is a team sport. So in saying that, thinking about it, like one of the things that is very unique to cheer is that yes, it's a team sport, but you are also accountable for your own individual skills, right? So teaching of these athletes, they're going to learn to be accountable for their progressions, what they learn, and where they're going, their own body control, right? But then they're also going to be working as part of a team, and the team is crucial. It's the everything. The team is everything, because soon as you start taking people out of the team, that training session and that particular routine, that just isn't going to work anymore as soon as you've got people missing. So that's why I'm saying really consider about your commitment and whether they're going to turn up to every training session, and can you make every single competition, and how many competitions can you commit to doing? Should you look at something less, or could you do more? Or, you know, where are you at with what you're going to commit to? Because it really does matter. And the other things, there's so many things I love about cheer. Like, I've been in this industry for so long and just can never seem to get away from it, and done so many aspects of it. But there's just so many things like life skills in cheer. That's one of the things I love probably most about working with kids and teenagers is all of the other things that you get to teach them, whether that's communication with people on their team. There might be people on their team that they necessarily don't see eye to eye with, but you've got to figure out how you're going to make that work, because you have to work together to make your routine work. And that's something that will carry on through into work with them when they're older, because they're all skills that we need to be able to have, is to be able to communicate, supporting other people, putting yourself out, volunteering yourself to fill in when other people aren't there, really getting that community vibe of supporting your team. There's also other aspects as well, like making sure you're punctual and turning up on time, making sure your uniform is correct. They're all things that are like life skills that will help you later on in life. Being respectful, are you following the rules? There's usually a lot of rules involved about how you present yourself with gyms and programs, and usually they're all things that as parents we would love to see in our children. So just have a read through them. Other things, they make friends in all different age groups, sometimes across gyms. Like we have gyms where I'll take my teams to a friend's gym and we'll go hang out with them. Like it's the most fun, amazing community of people that are really supportive of each other. And I've been so blessed and so lucky to be part of such an amazing community. Like I just love it. Like this sport is just amazing for really fostering community spirit and bringing people together and supporting each other regardless of where you're from and what team you're on, you know? There's so many little things about our culture that brings such good vibes. I just don't think there's any other sport like it. And with cheerleading, talking about stunts and teamwork and all those other things, like actual cheerleading all-star routines, you're talking about the kids learning how to do like tumble passes. So tumbling is like when they're doing handstands, cartwheels, forward rolls, all the way up to like layouts, full twists, so on and so forth. They're just varied types of tumbling. Tumbling is tumbling, and it's split into different levels, and there's different skills in each level depending on where they're at. Those go in the routine. Then you have jumps. There's different types of jumps. Usually there's a double jump and a single jump. That will be in the routine in a section. And then they also have the stunting component, which is usually comprised of different sections. You'll have like smaller groups doing stunts together, and then there'll be another section which is like a big stunt where they're like linked and they hold like hand to hand or hand to foot, and they make like a big structure that's called a pyramid. And then in the routine they'll also have like a dance and choreography section, and all of that comes together into like a 2.5 minute routine that they perform, and it's high energy. And it's exhausting. Like it's so good for their fitness and their strength. They have to build a lot of coordination, balance, body control, trust. Like it's just everything all in one spot. And that's without talking about other skills that they learn, like fundraising and being responsible for money and learning how to like deal with the public. If they're joining in things like that as well, honestly, some athletes that I have seen that have just been supported through those systems, their growth in maturity and their outlook on life just blows me away. So I guess if you're thinking about it, like, what's a question you would have as a parent? Maybe safety, right? What's safety like? Well, talking about safety, where I'm speaking from my experiences right now. I can't talk for every single person in the whole world that does cheer. But from what I've seen, where I've been, like with cheer, we're actually very, very aware of the safety, right? Because we're lifting humans in the air. Sometimes we're throwing them, catching them, twisting, doing all the things, yeah? So we are very aware that there is safety issues, and it's a very common thing that, you know, even myself, like there's only so much control you can have on a human, okay? So like I find in cheer, like if somebody gets injured because it's cheerleading as a coach, I mean, if you're a coach and you're listening or watching this, let me know if this is you or not you, because hopefully I'm not the only person in the world that's like this, right? Like if a kid like rolls their ankle walking across the cheer floor, like somehow I will just feel dreadful that they've hurt themselves, like walking across the cheer floor, right? But then I think to myself, like, you know, do coaches do that like in football? Like when my son goes to play soccer, for example, right? He walked across the pitch and rolled his ankle, and I'm watching him, I'd just be like, like, come on. Whereas I wouldn't think to look at the coach for that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's more of like a stereotypical thing. But I find like in cheer, people assume it's super dangerous, but we actually are really, really on top of it, I would say, most of the time. From what I've seen, my experience, you know, when we're doing stunts, we have spotters, we progress them. We don't just randomly put a kid in a stunt and just expect it to be amazing and throw them up in stuff that we haven't progressed them in. It doesn't work like that. Like when we're coaching children, you start them off low, they build skills higher. You start them at a lower level, then they go higher up levels, as in like skill-wise, not height-wise. And then you have like bracing groups when they're learning new things. You run it through various different fitness levels. We don't just expect them to do everything all at once. There's like progressions to everything to build them up. So I feel safety aspect, it's much the same as putting them in gymnastics or putting them into martial arts or any of those things, you know. Yes, there's always going to be a safety risk. And yes, you know, children or people have free will. Unfortunately. No, I'm kidding. There is the free will aspect and, you know, things will happen. But overall, I think as a sport, we are very diligent in what we do as coaches. So in saying that, if you're thinking after all of my rambling about trying cheer, I would highly recommend you just take them and go and do a trial class, right? You know, if you've got multiple gyms around you and you're not sure which one to join, go and do trial classes at multiple programs and you will find the one that fits you and your family or not if your kid doesn't like it. And that is that. Like, it's that simple. Like, you know, I just see it the same as like with my son, right? My son does not do cheer, by the way. He was brought up in the cheer gym. He had his nursery in there. He lived there every day. He just thinks it's his home. Like, he is definitely a little gym rat baby. Wherever I take him, if I take him to any of my friends' gyms, cheer gyms, like if I take him anywhere, he just thinks he owns the place. Like, he just walks in there like he's the program owner, and he's like 8. Anyway, so he doesn't do cheer, but anything that he wants to do, I'm more than happy to take him there. And if he likes it, then fabulous. Like, I found something or you found something that you like and you enjoy, and I will foster that with you. That's just all we can hope for our children, right? We just want them to find something that they love and they adore and that they're going to be into, and that it's going to help them grow in various different ways. Because, you know, when we make these humans, they take lots of other humans to help grow them and give them different skills and help build them as a person. So I would say, if you're thinking about it, just take them, give them a trial go, try lots of different places, and hopefully they enjoy it. If not, there's plenty of other different activities they can do in this world. But for me, it's always cheer. If you have any questions, want me to dive into anything else deeper, please drop it down. And thank you so much for sticking with me all the way to the end of this. There was a lot of talking just of waffle today because I had no structure. So yep, thanks for watching, and I will see you probably not in my son's bedroom next time. See ya!
Thanks for sticking with me until the end of this chapter. I hope you found something useful, or at the very least cracked a smile. If you want some more, dive into more episodes, grab one of my books or a freebie at thecheerleaderbookclub.com. Hit me up on socials at the Cheerleader Book Club, and if you have a wild topic you want to hear my take on, send it over. No, really, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you, and on that note, I will look forward to seeing you in the next cheer chapter.